Yo, what is the deal, everybody? What is the deal, everybody? Welcome to another Raider Nation Unlimited. I'm your man, Wasted Talent, on this horrendous Monday, man. I mean, my God. Man. Monday has been horrendous. You know, was in the airport, tried to get out, couldn't get out. Down in Georgia, visiting my daughter. And now, had to go back to my sister-in-law house, salute to her. The background to the wall is green, right? So I can make my background completely black so that it doesn't look weird. But this is a Raider Nation Unlimited on location. We're trying to figure this whole thing out, but it is what it is. It is what it is. My man Dave Walker in a place to be. Can't take this weather, my brother. Salute the wasted. Dave, I know you can't. I know you can, Dave, because you definitely, man, you got to be at it. But salute to my daughter. Salute to my daughter, man. Kicking it with my daughter, man. It was I mean, unbelievable seeing my beautiful child. But look, right now, my guy Big Mike Raiders in the place. He goes, "You look like 11 Stranger Things." Yes. This is the blackout episode, everybody. The blackout episode. I'm trying to give you guys as close to the same level of quality as I always do. So salute to everybody in the chat, man. I mean, listen, guys, we got to talk about a few things, man. The Raiders are expected to have a pretty big week, man. The combine is coming up. The Raiders have 10 draft picks. We got the second most cap space in the league than any other team. We got a lot of roster holes to fill. We've hired some new coaches. There's a lot to get into, guys. It is a lot to get into. Thing about it is, when we start talking about the NFL Combine, we get excited for the players that could possibly be coming in, but also the Combine is a place where there is a lot of business that is done in the National Football League. They get to gauge, the interest of who, what, where, and why, trade opportunities. All of the teams are in the same place. So things can progress rapidly at the NFL Combine. And I know you guys know that. Salute to my brother Graphic Raider. He will be at the NFL Combine trying to make a monumental move. And let's hope that pans out. We can't speak on it yet, but I know exactly why my brother will be in the place to be with Stu. I wish I can be there with him. But listen, man, we when it comes to this Raider content thing, man, we are the ones who started this combine shit, man. There's a lot of guys that are trying to, follow suit, but nobody does it like Shieldmore. But good evening to everybody in the place, man. Good evening to everybody in the place. So, I really want to get into this. The Raiders are in a situation where they have all the other teams there, right? So if there was ever going to be, the framework of a deal to trade a player on this team, it will most likely be this week, right? And if you're going to talk about trading a player, salute to my brother Big Mike Raider in a place to be, man. Salute. The Maxx Crosby stuff. Look, I know, a lot of us in Raider Nation don't want to hear this, and a lot of people don't like talking about it, but it's something we got to broach, right? Crosby's been surrounded by trade rumors all offseason, right? And these are the most legitimate ones, right? Like this is a situation where if it's going to happen, you're going to hear the real framework of what can be this week. What can be this week? Like trading Crosby this season would probably save the Raiders $31 million this offseason. And it's the thing, right? We're at the mercy of Max, right? Like it all depends on what he wants to do, how he wants to proceed going forward with the Raiders. If he's not advantageous, but if he's agreeable to coming back to the Raiders, right? See, and the thing is this might leave the Raiders front office in a real bind, right? Because they have to start moving and transitioning into a place where this kind of stuff is not a thing anymore at this point. You know what I mean? They need to move in a direction where they know exactly what their defense and who they have in the building, look at their roster and see what the hell's going on, man. Salute to my guy, JFTV. That's right, man. Finally caught alive, and we up in the place, man. My guy, Die Hard Reddit says, yo, I said it before and I'll say it again. We don't need the distractions. We do need the draft capital. Just saying. Now, look, man. We talk about draft capital, but at the end of the day, man, you can hope and dream and pray that whomever you draft is as good as the guy's Maxx Crosby, right? But I think the problem with the Raiders at this point, and if we're being honest, right, is the fact that the Raiders are doing a full reset. They reset the whole front office, right? They've reset the whole coaching staff, and they're resetting the whole roster. The Raiders have a hell of a lot of free agents, man. Like a hell of a lot of free agents. The Raiders are in a situation where, when you talk about, their roster, their roster is 60% missing at this point. 60% missing. And they have so many unanswered questions to some of the guys in this building. So this is not the worst thing in the world that the Raiders are thinking about moving on, right? Now, this is the thing, right? When you start talking about, what the trade price might be, a lot of people have talked about it. And the reason why I'm bringing this up is because Vic Tafur is over there now with the San Francisco 49ers. He is no longer with us. But Vic Tafur pulled up and he spoke about, Crosby, right? Vincent Bonsier has spoke a lot about, the asking price, right? And everybody is saying it's 2 first-round picks, right? That's the start and the beginning, right? So when you start thinking about players like Khalil Mack or Micah Parsons or even Jalen Ramsey, right? They've all fetched pretty much the same kind of return, right? Now, this is the thing with Max, right? He is a great player. He's 29 years old. He's about to be 29. He probably doesn't have as much tread left on the tire as people think because he's starting to get injured, right? You got to ask yourself, is this the time to do it? Is this the main time to do it? I mean, look, he's a former 4th-round pick. So for you to get anything close to what he is, you would probably have to draft a guy who's a damn near a Hall of Famer. And Jeffrey White is a bum. He is a bum. But man, yo, I'm gonna be for real here, guys. I am over it. I'm over it. I've said this numerous times. I just want whatever is going to happen so we can make sense of it and move on. That's where I'm at with it. Like, if they keep him, there's nothing wrong with keeping Max because he's a great player. He's been proven. He's a leader. Everyone loves him. And he makes whatever team he's on better. But if you were to trade him, man, the prospects of the Raiders going into the coffers with the first pick and another pick in the first round and another pick next year, if the people that are making the decisions make the right decisions, right? Then you're in a situation now where it's like, well, damn. If you're gonna make them kind of decisions, right? And the people that are making those decisions are the right people to make them. Well, then you have probably, one of the better young rosters in football. This is to me. I'm starting to trend more towards moving Max. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm more towards that. But several teams, according to Vincent Bonsier, are willing to pay a high price for a pass rusher, right? So that's 2 first-round picks, and they're going to get that. So now we're going into a week where they're going to be at the combine. You're going to have the Buffalo Bills. You're going to have the San Francisco 49ers. A lot of people don't think that the Raiders will do business with the 49ers, and they historically haven't, right? And people will say, well, Mark Davis won't do business with the 49ers. The thing is, I agree with that. The only thing about me is this. I don't know whether John Spytek views it from that prism. Because John Spytek is not fully invested in this Bay Area, rivalry that we've always had with the San Francisco 49ers. I don't think he cares about that. And if he's the guy who, because we know the owner of the team is going to have a final say. Like if Mark feels strongly about stuff, he will come in and he will step in and say, hey, I don't like that. But I'm going to be real with you. Mark has been very non-committal to the football side of things lately. You know, if he's really, really stepping back, there's a chance that they could do business with San Francisco. I know a lot of people think you're crazy. They'll never do it. You bugging. I don't feel that way. I don't feel that way. And this is the thing, man. The Raiders are facing so many crucial positions on both sides of the football, man. And they lack depth everywhere. You know, they have so many pressing needs, right? So many pressing needs. But the most important thing the Raiders can do to help this team is to start building this team for the middle of the football field. For real. See, now, Coach, that's a great question. Salute to my guy, Coach Sippin' Jamba Juice. He goes, if Mark buried the hatchet with the NFL, why would he keep the beef with the 49ers, right? I don't necessarily know whether it's a situation where he needs to bury the hatchet with anybody. I think it's a perception thing. It's a perception thing. It's a fan base thing. It's a guy who's deeply rooted in this Raiders Bay Area culture, who grew up in it, who was born in it, and Mark Davis. These are all things that Bay Area fans and Raider fans that are longtime fans feel. But the thing is, if Mark is willing to trend in the direction where he's off of the football decisions, this is something that probably could happen. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to dig into who has the cap space, who are the people, you know, the Chicago Bears, right? We did business with them before with the Khalil Mack trade. The Rams are a team that you got to look out for. Maybe the 49ers, I have them very low on my list, but the Buffalo Bills is a team that when I start thinking about it, this is a team that can make a whole heck of a lot of sense for the Raiders to deal with. Only thing is you got a situation where, you know, they're in the same conference, right? And salute to my guy, Jacob Byers, 4435. Oh, my God. Becoming a member of the Wasted Talent Army. I mean, making this army grow in droves, man. But the thing is this, right? You know, when you start talking, and do me a favor, get them likes up too. Get them likes up. You're wasted with your brother wasted. Tell a friend and tell a friend. And whomever is can hear my voice on Twitter, make sure you start subbing your brother wasted. Go follow me on Twitter too, man, or formerly known as X. So look, the Raiders are in a situation, and I was talking about this the other day, where, you know, the offensive line needs some crucial help, right? And we've been talking about this all season. The defensive line needs some help. You know, Malcolm Kuntz is probably going to be gone in free agency, and I probably think he should. And if we trade Maxx Crosby, now you have a room and a cupboard that is bare, and the Raiders are going to have to spend money on that room. They really are. You're not going to be able to just clearly address it through the draft. Now, one of the players that a lot of people are thinking about is K'Lavon Chaisson. Now, K'Lavon Chaisson was here with the Raiders. They weren't able to keep him, and he used his time with the Raiders to kind of jumpstart his career. He, you know, but the only thing is this for me, right? He's a guy that, to me, it would piss me off if we got to go and sign this guy in free agency. We had him here for next to nothing. And now he has a decent year with the Patriots, and people have him ranked as like a 34th best free agent, which is crazy. And look, he's familiar with Rob Leonard, right? And I'm sure that he is a guy that the Raiders would kick the tires on. I don't necessarily know how well K'Lavon Chaisson plays without Max being on the other side, but that's a whole nother ball of wax right there. It's a whole nother ball of wax, yo. My guy George Manley. If we do business with Buffalo, then we need tackles that will maul people with all the pass rushers they already have. Yeah, that's a fact. That's a fact. I mean, but the thing is, for me, is this, right? If you trade Max and you get a top 15 pick, right, now that puts you in play of addressing this offensive line with a blue chip talent, right? Now, there's a lot of blue chip talents in this draft, you know, as far as, you know, under the radar for me, right? And I believe that, you know, Dunker, you know, guys like Caden Proctor, you know, Mayuga, you have a pretty decent tackle. That's a pretty decent positional group. It's much better than the quarterback positional group in this draft. Salute to everybody out there, man. You know, I'm gonna tell you something, man. Yo, this draft and this offseason is so exciting, man, because there's so many options, man. You know, there's so many guys that are in free agency that have question marks. You have guys that are a sure thing. You know, you have so many people. So if you want to go out there and you want to get a free agent tackle, Rasheed Walker from the Packers is available, right? Braden Smith from the Colts is a guy that, you know, I want to bring in. Is a guy that you can bring in. Jermaine Illuminor, who we've had here before, is a guy I would probably avoid. But Jermaine Illuminor is out there. Cam Robertson, experience, has not played the greatest in the last few seasons, but he is out there. Trent Brown will never come back to the Raiders, and I don't think we will want him back. And Larry Borum is another guy out there from the Chicago Bears, man. So, you know, you have some pretty damn decent options at tackle. You got some decent options at guard, the Elijah Vera Tuckers of the world. But the thing I wanted to focus on is guys coming out in the draft, you know, because, you know, there are a lot of guys that are under the radar here. There are a lot of young players that are under the radar here that I want to go over. And what we're going to start doing is I'm going to start doing shorts, and I'm going to start breaking down a lot of these tackles to get you guys excited for the draft, man. And we definitely need to build this defensive line from the inside out. And I'm going to get to that too, David Walker. You were jumping the effing line. You were jumping the line, David Walker. Salute to the mods in there holding it down. Get wasted with your brother, wasted, tell a friend and tell a friend. My guy, Raider Rick. It would make me nervous to get rid of Maxx because we haven't exactly been good at drafting pass rushers in the recent past. You're right about this offseason. It's been excited. Love the show. Man, appreciate that, man. Appreciate the feedback too. But yo, this draft is one of those drafts where you're not gonna get guys that jump off the page right off day one. But yo, this is the kind of draft, man, that I'm telling you right now. Yo, there are gonna be a lot of starters that can be had in the mid rounds in this draft, right? So you got Francis Mayoga, 6'6", 315, big boy. You know, he might be the best tackle in this draft, right? You got Spencer Fano. He was the runaway #1 consensus tackle in this draft at the beginning of the season. He's kind of faded a little bit. We got to see how that turns out after the NFL Combine. He's a little lighter, 6'6", 302. You know, pretty decent athlete. And you know, Fano's like an ideal size guy, especially for a wide zone, an outside zone scheme. Because he'll be able to like really get out there because he's got a pretty fast 40-yard speed, man. 40-yard dash, man. He ran like a 4.9, 4.8, man. And yo, he'll be able to get out there and pull and climb to the second level, man. So he's one of those guys that if you're gonna run the scheme that we run, Spencer Fano's the guy you might want to keep your eye on. Caden Proctor, my guy, 366, 6'7", an old school Al Davis type left tackle, 6'7". Long arms. He's massive, 366 pounds, 32-inch vertical, quick 40 time, and he's athletic as hell. Now, some people say that he's going to be a guard. I got this guy's a tackle. You know, I can't see this guy being a guard at 6'7", man. The guy's a beast. You got, you know, Caleb Lomu. You know, Jennings Dunker, another big boy, 6'5". Man, he has power, grip strength. You know, he's a nasty lineman, too. One of my Iowa boys, man. He's a tone setter, too, man. And he's one of them guys that I can see the Raiders kicking the tire on, too, in the mid-rounds, man. But, yeah, I'm telling you right now, man, if the Raiders do make that move for Maxx, they can, if they do this right, man, they can get their tackle of the future. They can go out there. They can get their defensive tackle. We're going to get into some of the defensive tackles in this draft, and they can address a lot of this stuff in free agency as well, man. But yeah, this is a deep tackle draft. A lot of people won't agree, but I definitely think it is, man. Shiz rated 100. He says, yo, we got to hit on the draft. It has to be better than last year. No reaching, BPA, go after Mendoza #1. Now, bro, I'm gonna be real with you. I don't believe that, you know, last year's draft was bad. Last year's draft was you know, TBD, to be determined. Like, how can we make that assessment and half of these guys didn't even really play 50% of the snaps? The only guy who played you know, a significant amount is Ashton Genty. And I think they hit that. They hit that pick out of the park, man. As far as I'm concerned, they hit that pick out of the park. My guy Jason Farnsworth, man, is not playing out here, man. Because I trade Maxx in a heartbeat. The dude is done with us. We're done with him. Let go. Get some money for this clown. Damn, you calling Maxx a clown, bro? I mean, Farnsworth. Look, man. Look, this is the thing that we gotta chill. You cannot sit up here and call Maxx Crosby a fucking clown, bro. And I know. Listen, man. Yo, I'm a Raider through and through. But you're not gonna sit up here and just call this guy a clown, bro. That's terrible, dog. That's terrible. Like, if he feels like he wants to do something different with his career, man, and God bless him, but he's not no clown, bro. He's done nothing but be a great Raider. And if he's frustrated, that's his own personal business. That's his body, it's his career, and I understand it. And ain't like the Raiders have given him a whole lot to be happy about. You know, changing coaches and stuff. I'm not saying that he deserves more than anyone else, because we're frustrated as fans too. But don't sit up here and call Maxx Crosby no goddamn clown, bro. You gotta chill, man. F up out of here with your crap, Farnsworth. And you know you my guy since the beginning of Raider Nation Unlimited. But my God, Farnsworth, listen, man. I gotta do this to you, brother.
Shut your lame ass up, man.
I mean, the F is wrong with you, Farnsworth. Love you though, man. Oh, some dude named Milky Cereal. Yes, bro, he is a clown, diva ass, spoiled brat. Yo, y'all gotta chill, man. Y'all got to chill, man. Y'all got to chill, man. Showing thoughts. If he's leaking stuff instead of coming out for himself, I can see what bro's saying. But bro, I'm gonna be 100% real with you. That's not that. Like when players play, coaches coach, GMs GM, and agents agent. And a lot of this shit is the agent doing this. You know, this is the business side of football, bro. This is the business side of football. That's not no clown shit. That is what happens in football, bro. That is what happens in football. That is what happens. I'm going to say it for the third time, like Dr. Umar Johnson. That is what happens in football. I mean, come on with this shit, y'all. And yo, don't be sending nobody to the gulags for their opinion either, man. Come on now. Y'all got to chill, man. Y'all got to chill, man. Y'all have got to chill. You really do, man. And pay your bar tabs, man. And look, man. Look. My guy, Mark Thomas, he goes, I want to trade Maxx last year. I disagree that he makes every team better because the Raiders were horrible. His numbers indicate he's a good player, not a great player, and injuries don't help. Bro, if you can't, like, bro, see, this the problem with y'all, man. This is the problem, bro. This is the problem, bro. Don't sit up here, and I'm not trying to be, y'all know how I am about players, bro. Y'all know how I am about players. I don't do this whole, you know, bloviating over players stuff. But don't sit up here and act like Maxx Crosby is not one of the very best in the league now because he's falling out of favor with the Raiders, bro. Let's not do that, bro. Let's not do that. That's nonsense, bro. Come on now. That's bullshit. That's bullshit. That's what, players are allowed to be human, bro. And look, I tell y'all this too. Look, he's not above the shield. The Raiders got to do his best for them. He got to do his best for him too. But you can't call a man a clown, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, no, do I love the way he's moving? No. But call him a clown. That shit is corny, bro. That's how players do what they do when the business side of football becomes what it becomes. When the business side of football becomes what it becomes, this is what happens. When the business side of football becomes what it becomes, this is what happens. And bro, to be honest with you, like I told y'all, this is what happens when players want to move or they want to push a line. That's what happens. Now, look, there's a lot of players out there, man, that I want to get into. A lot of free agents and stuff like that. Salute to everybody in the chat. There are people who, like it's money with his nonsense. Talk about the Raiders should go out there and go get another remix fucking quarterback. Like, bro, listen. And let's get into this, right? I'm going to talk about some assessments. There's some stuff, Dan Orlovsky, talking about Mendoza. Todd McShay talked about Mendoza. Listen, I see all these people talk about the Raiders should go out there and go get Malik Willis, which is fucking crazy. And we're going to get back into that, yo. But hold on, like a nigga. So it's fair to say Devontae is not a no, it's not. That's not true. No, see, this the thing. Devontae Adams wasn't loyal to the fucking Raiders. Devontae Adams is a Packer. He forced his way to the Raiders, and then he did all this diva stuff behind the scenes. And then, when things didn't go completely his way, he forced his way out of town and was a baby about it. To me, Devontae Adams does not deserve any consideration from Raider Nation. He's never done a damn thing for this organization. Never. And bro, I told you, listen, I'm an older guy. I don't like that shit. I don't like it. I've criticized bro for it. I've criticized him for it. Y'all know that. I've definitely criticized Maxx for that. But to call that man an all-and-out clown after the efforts that he's put down for the Raiders is fucking crazy to me. That's crazy. That's crazy. And to compare him to Devontae Adams is crazy. I don't even know why I'm even addressing this. Devontae Adams was here for 2 years. Are you serious, bro? And now all of a sudden, bro, want to leave. Like, listen, I respect it. If you want to leave, cool, bro. Cool. Would I go about it that way? No. But I understand the way football works now. I understand the way these young guys use their little platforms and stuff. I get it. I understand it. Salute, my brother. Tell a friend. My guy, Andre Davis with a $5 slapper room and the first effing super of the day. Appreciate you, my brother. Setting the table over here at Raider Nation Unlimited, my man. But yo, listen, at the end of the day, it's just the timeline. The timelines are not matching up. And if bro wants to go, that's cool. If he want to go, that's cool. If he want to stay, that's also cool. But y'all not going to compare Maxx to Devontae Adams. And you're not going to sit up here and just call a guy a clown like he hasn't given his blood and his respect to this organization. Like, we're not going to do that, bro. We're not going to do that. Do I think it might be time to move on? Yeah. Yeah, it's time to move on, bro. But the thing is, it's not like, it's not like to me that him wanting to leave and him wanting to, so to speak, duck another rebuild is bad. That's just, a player making a decision for himself. Do I feel like he's ducking his smoke a little bit? Yeah. But it's all good. As long as we get the right compensation back and we draft well with that conversation, then fuck it. I'm going to be honest with you, bro. I'm going to be honest with you. But to call dude a clown, I think that shit crazy, bro. I personally do, bro. That to me, that's crazy, bro. That is insane, bro. That's insane, bro. Seriously, bro. And if he stay, y'all going to be back on his ball sack. If he stay, y'all gonna be back on his sack. That F up out of here. But listen, and it's the thing. Like, for me, bro, it's just a timeline thing. It's a timeline thing, bro. Like, if he want to go, he feel like, I'm a stone's throw away from 30. I'm all right with it. And I respect it. Yo, he said, I definitely respect if he wants to leave. But for me, it comes off as selfish if he's still mad because he was sat down. Bro didn't even come to be on the sideline with his boys. Bro, I'm going to be real with you. I think that he's using this as a reason to leave, because if you really look at it, the organization is giving him everything he's wanted. They gave him everything he wanted, and he wants stability. He claims he wants stability, and that's what you're getting. With stability comes accountability, right? The Raiders organization made him accountable. They made him accountable. They say, yo, bro, you're injured, and we don't want you to diminish yourself any further. You are going to sit down, and you're not going to be able to go up to the owner and get what you want no more. And I'm going to be real with you. That's what an organization should do. I love that. I love that. I love that. He got everything he wanted. But guess what, man? It's same things that make you laugh, make you cry. Salute to my guy, Big Mike Raider. If we actually function like a competent franchise, Maxx would never leave. But this one's on the Raiders. Calling him a clown is a coping mechanism. Let's keep it a buck. I mean, Big Mike Raider, you know, like, listen, I really believe this whole thing, when somebody leaves the Raiders, we start shitting all on them, makes our fan base look terrible, dog. Instead of just respecting what they laid down for the Raiders. You know what I'm saying? Like that's just me. Like for me, I'm okay. I'm willing to see the dude go. Do I think it's time? Yeah, but we're not gonna call the dude a clown. That's fucked up. You know, and bro, for me, this is not on the Raiders. They paid him. And he signed a contract. So now you come here and you duck in the smoke. I don't totally agree with that, Mike. Mike, real rap, we can have this discussion on air. I don't agree with that, because I see, and I spoke about this. I've seen this man post, you know, he got Muhammad Ali, he got tattoos and talking about being great and all that stuff. And he's kind of ducking the smoke a little bit. Like, yo, we got to have some happy medium to this. We got to have a happy medium. Does the team play a part in it, like Big Mike says? Yes. But does Maxx play a part in this as well? Yeah. Yeah, bro, because like I said before, yo, if you're legitimately mad for them shutting you down, that shit is crazy, bro. Because you're still not healthy now. So why the hell would they let you do more damage to their biggest asset? It's like, bro, you got paid. You got paid. They didn't fucking do you wrong. They could have said, yo, bro, listen, man. Look, we moving on. I'm a new GM. They could have done the Gruden thing. They could have said, yo, you're gone. We're not doing this. We need to draft capital. He said he wanted to be here. He built a new house. He did all this stuff, right? And it's like the Raiders did him wrong. They fucking paid him, bro. They paid him before they had to. Like, the Raiders ain't do him wrong not one bit, bro. And because they're making him look out for his knee, they did him wrong. Yo, is there a part of this where I don't totally respect the way how Maxx is going about this? You damn right. But is that because I am a man that is damn near 50 years old? Yes. Yes. Look, I don't come from this era, bro. I don't come from this social media shit. I'm more of a direct person. So when people play the games of social media, I don't fuck with it. I don't mess with it. But what I do understand is that is the way business is done now. That's the way these kids do. Like, it'll surprise me if I see another superstar player who doesn't have a goddamn podcast. Seriously. Graf gave him an extra $6 million for no reason. That's a fact. They did him right, bro. They did him right, man. I don't want to hear what nobody says, man. I respect you depending on Devontae, but I disagree with him being a clown. The Raiders took Carr away from him and never really replaced him. Come on, bro. AOC, Booger Minshew. But see, this is the thing, right? You say that, and he the same guy who signed off on Carr. He signed off on him getting rid of Carr because he thought they were going to be able to get Aaron Rodgers. He did that. He tried to play LeBron with silver and black. He tried to be a GM, and it blew up in his face. And that's what the fuck he gets. That's what he gets. That's what he gets. I'm sorry. I don't give a shit, bro. That's what he gets. Devontae Adams don't get no grace from me, bro. You forced your way here. And look, listen, Alex, man, I know. And I know, listen, man, there's a lot of fans who, such as myself, right? Like, I was hoping that the next great Raider was able to hoist the championship in silver and black. That's what I was hoping for. Like, it hurts my soul when I see, Charles Woodson go to the Hall of Fame and people got to ask him, are you going in as a Raider or a Packer? Where should have never even been a situation. And bro, let me ask you a question, bro. Just remove your fandom out of it. I know it's very hard for me to. Some people can't separate their fandom, right? Remove your fandom out of it, right? If you have a certain career, right, and your career has a shelf life, right, and you start looking at your mentality, and you start getting injured, and you have certain goals for yourself, it is not anything wrong with bruh going and doing what he thinks is best for him. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. I call me, say what you want. There's nothing wrong with that. We don't gotta like it. We don't gotta like it. But conversely, right? It's nothing wrong with the Raiders doing what's best for them either. And I believe at this point, the Raiders should. And I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it. My guy Bug Nasty, shout out to men's and women's hockey, making those Crodies cry. Love Max, but I'm cool with it either way. I don't hate none of these dudes leaving. We've been a shit team, and I love the Raiders more than any other, any pro team. And that's the way I feel. I get it. I understand it. Like, yo, I respect somebody that's willing to say, yo, it's either I win here or I don't win at all. And I also respect people who say, man, look, I don't think this is going to work out. Yo, I'm not really feeling this right now. I love the team, but I want to move on. Respect, bro. It's your career. It's your body. Move the F on. But the Raiders, the fans, right, to sit up here and put it in Max's lap like, yo, he don't have a leg to stand on. He just being an asshole, I think is very disingenuous, right? And also, conversely, we do have to hold him accountable for some of the fuck shit that's been going on, right? But to me, the little bit of fuck shit doesn't outweigh all the great he's done. And I think he deserves a certain prerequisite amount of respect. Y'all talking about, bro, like he Randy Moss. Like the way Randy Moss conducted himself with the Raiders was totally, it was bullshit. The way Randy Moss conducted himself with this team was complete and total horseshit. My guy, Jay McFarland, with the $5 slap-a-room, man. Appreciate you, my brother. Salute to my brother OGDA in the place to be, man. And yo, my brother OGDA says it best. He goes, hey, what's up, my good friend? You know my position on Max and any other Raider who wants to leave. And OGDA, listen, let me tell you something. This guy been a Raider fan since the 60s. OGDA gonna say, man, look, I'm gonna be honest with you, bro. I am gonna tell you how OGDA feels about people who want to leave.
Man, you a bitch. You a bitch.
That is exactly how OGDA feels. He said, man, get the F on. Salute to my brother DeMokes with the $10 slappy. I honestly don't think he's mad that they pulled him the last 2 games. He's clearly mad about something else. He's just using that as a catalyst. I'm at peace if we keep him or trade him. That is exactly the sentiment that I've been trying to get to everyone in Raider Nation, bro. I'm cool with it. Cool with it, bro. Whatever he's trying, this whole shutting him down for the 2 games, it's a small thing, but it's kind of, and look, I've given y'all this analogy before, and I'm about to get off of the Maxx stuff. I've been talking about this way too long. Look, it's like when you got a woman or a man who's tired of being in a certain relationship and they use something trivial to break the relationship. I feel like that's what's happening with Maxx. I really do. And salute to my brother Dev Roy with the $10 slap a room, man. Maxx had the keys to the front door and he started moving like he owned the building. Spy Tech and crew treated him like the rest of the players and he got in his feelings. And that's exactly how I feel, bro. That's exactly how I feel, bro. I mean, salute to you, Dev Roy. I mean, always bringing a smack as usual. Always bringing a smack. My guy David Walker in the place, man. So look, man. Yo, and salute to my brother Demokes, man. The boss hog of the gulags, man. Salute, man. But guys, look, you know, some of the things that I wanted to really get into that we really haven't is just, you know, what the Raiders really need to focus on, bro, in this upcoming draft, right? And in the combine, with the combine coming up, you know, look, and we were talking about it earlier, and I kind of got derailed, right? But there are so many young players, man, in this draft from the offensive line. You got, you know, Drew Shelton. He's a developmental prospect, but he's a guy, you know, Drew Shelton out of Penn State. You guys know how I like my Penn State guys. Shelton is a developmental guy, right? Big guy, 305, 6'5", you know, man, you know, this is one of those guys that you can get in the 4th round and really, you know, bring him in and build on him. You know what I mean? But I mean, you know, went to the Senior Bowl, man. 5.2 second 40-yard dash, you know, big guy. 17th positional rank. College games 45, really good pass blocker, you know, marginal run blocker, you know, pretty nice arms. You know, he's an all Big Ten guy. And guess what, man? He's one of those guys that you can draft in the 4th or the 5th round and really stash away, man. I mean, some of the stuff that I've seen from Drew, you know, because I watch a lot of Penn State, you know, just exceptional lateral agility, man, and really good foot speed. So, you know, he's one of those guys that can keep up with a speed rusher around the edge with minimal wasted movement. I mean, he's really a ideal tackle in the zone scheme. He really is. He's one of those guys, man, that you will see come into the league and be shocked at the production that he gives you. And he's only, you know, 305 pounds. He has the frame where he could put on some more weight. He has really natural flexibility, man. You know, he's one of those dancing bear kind of guys, man. And he has a versatile skill set too. So he can also play guard and center too. And he's done that up and down the line. He did that against UMass. So he's a guy that I got really, this is a wasted guy. This is a wasted guy. Graf and I are going to pick some prospects and we're going to solely claim them. We're going to break them down and we're going to do a couple dope shows going forward. Salute to my brother Graf, man. But yo, man, he is definitely one of those guys, man, that can grow into a starter, man. So he's a sleeper, man. He's a sleeper, man. And I'm telling you right now, his zone blocking and his athleticism he's a guy that will come here and absolutely cook, man. Now, this is the only thing. He needs to gain some weight. He needs to gain some weight if he's going to be a tackle. If he can add another 10 to 15 pounds and he gets some functional strength, he can be a pretty decent like swing tackle and spot starter. Real rap, man. Kylo Ren Raider. PSU is a bunch of clowns. Yeah, but see, you know what? He's not thick frame, Rich. He's really not. He really needs to put on some weight, bro. My guy OG, man, goes, I'm 60 years in the fold, man. And I've always felt this way about any player talk about leaving the Raiders. Let that bitch go. OG, OGDA, what the F is wrong with you, OG? The F up out of here. I mean, you're supposed to be an elder statesman of Raider Nation. You're supposed to be calming things down, and you're up here bringing your filth around here, OGDA. I mean, what the F is going on, man? I mean, the debauchery. And Hug D's talk about I'm slim shaming people. I mean, get the F up out of here, Hug D's. Let's go, OG. Yo, Buck Nasty, right? I don't give a damn, man. And yo, when you're running that gap scheme, you know David Walker's right. It definitely, you definitely need those bigger linemen, right? That's that Al Davis shit, right? That's that Al Davis. Yo, y'all have no idea. Y'all have no idea, man. This OG, my guy, man. Like we talk all the time. Y'all have no idea. That's a wild individual right there, yo. Oh my God, man. Yo, my guy, Quadre Samsudeen, yo. Salute. I'm not a man rooter. I'm a Raider before and after, and at least we'll get some good parting gifts. Yeah, Quadre Samsudeen always coming through with the smack, bro. Listen, man, I don't just root for players, man. I root for the Raiders. Whoever here is, we supporting them, bro. But look, let's get into some of these other cats too, man. Like, I want to get into some of the guards in this draft too, man. You know, some of the guards in this draft and some of these guys that can play, center and stuff like that too. I want to get into some of these young cats, man, because look, I want the Raiders, right, to make sure that when they're going BPA, right, they get guys that are actually going to play for the Raiders, man. Seriously. Like, one of the best guards in this draft is Onyevege Ione from Penn State. He is a pass protection guard, and I'm telling you right now, this is a first rounder pretty much, man. Him and Emmanuel Paragon are two guys that I think are really, really, really gonna come into this league and start right off the bat, man. Ione is 6'4", man, and he's 330. That's a big brother right there, man. And I know, look, we gotta have the verdict on Rodgers and all of these guys. You know what I mean? Charles Grant. But the thing for me is this, right? Like, you can never have enough good young players, right? And I would like the Raiders to go out and really, really double down on these positions up front if you're going to be bringing in a young quarterback. Now, I know that there's only but so many roster spots, right? But I want this offensive line. I want in the defensive line, I want the Raiders to operate similar to the way the Eagles have, where it's an embarrassment of riches. So when anybody goes down, they have the situation taken care of. Now, I know a lot of people are like, look, Caleb Rogers, look, go bring in if you get a chance, right? And the reason why I'm talking about this and I'm bringing up a lot of these players is because of the simple fact that the Raiders could very well wind up with 2 first-round picks. They could very well wind up with some more middle round stuff, man. Right? The Raiders can go out on free agency and really land bomb one positional group from a free agent standpoint. So to me, look, I think the Raiders would be doing themselves a disservice if a kid like that's on the board and they don't take a swing at him, bro. Oh, here we go. Somebody, here I go with the Nittany Kitten shit. I'm just telling you, man. Paragon is no joke, too. We're going to get into Paragon, too. I mean, what the F is going on here? I'm just giving y'all information and not affirmation. I don't want to hear y'all crap about, your nonsense, who you like or who you don't. I'm talking about players, man. Look, Vega Ione, man, is a guy that don't have a lot of, he doesn't have a lot of tread on his tires. He's a kid who didn't play football until he was like a sophomore or junior in high school. You know, just smart kid, very, very smart kid. Let me tell you something, man. This kid, you know, is a second team All-American, you know, and look, I'm trying to tell you something, man. He was a 3-star prospect coming into college, man. He committed to Washington, but you know, he wound up going to Penn State. And when Jimmy Lake's staff was dismissed, Ione pivoted to Penn State. And look, man, I'm gonna be real with you, man. He proved his worth over there with Penn State, man. He redshirted his true freshman year. He earned 5 starts as a redshirt freshman. Well, his real freshman year, he redshirted, and then he earned you know, he played 5 games in 2023, and then he sees the left guard job in 2024. I'm looking at right here. He started 16 games for Penn State, and that was when, you know, Penn State went to the national title and stuff like that. He was second team All Big Ten again. Man, he's a guy who allowed 0 sacks and 0 hits while earning first team Big Ten honors, first team All-American recognition across 43 games and 2,025 snaps. Ione has been the heartbeat of that offensive line, right? I'm gonna tell you, Penn State's running game has been phenomenal and explosive, and a whole lot of 100-yard rushers. And let me tell you something, man. You know, Penn State's line gashed Oregon, 292 yards, 83.3 yards a carry, man. And Ione was the engine behind that, man. This is a guy that is really going to be a hell of a guard in the National Football League. And he's a terrific pass pro guard. You know, he allowed 0 sacks, 0 hits, and only 4 hurries across 613 snaps in 2025. You know what I mean? And look, man, he can get out there and he can move too. Like, you know, and they talk about, you know, grip strength and strength. He's one of them guys that you're going to see that's going to be able to handle Chris Jones up front, man. His strength is kind of borderline unfair, bro. So, I mean, this is a guy that I'm telling you right now is going to be a starter day one. He's 330, but he's dense and he's built like a goddamn like a fortress, bro. This dude is strong as hell, man. He ain't a fat 330, man. He ain't a fat 330, and he's one of them guys that creates like displacement. He levels people off the block, man. He is a terrific young player, man. The only thing with him is, man, is he's a better pass protector than a run blocker, and there's some things he can clean up with his run blocking. But listen, man, in an outside zone scheme, bro, he'd have to clean up some of those issues, right? Because that'll show some limitations. And that's why, you know, the Raiders might not go out and grab him, but he's a guy that's probably going to have to clean some of that stuff up, man. And he struggles as a move blocker when he reaches the perimeter. So that's not really great for the scheme that the Raiders run, but he's a guy that can be developed. And if you're talking about, you know, the pass pro, he's good. If you want to make sure that you keep Fernando Mendoza clean, he's good to go. In the run game is where you'd have to really get that development. Seriously. But he's going to be a quality starter in the league, man, and probably a Pro Bowl. Raiders versus everybody. Nobody talks about Laki Tassi. He showed good signs of preseason. I think with the right coaching, getting more familiarity at the position, he could be a good old lineman for the Raiders. Look, man, I'm going to be real with you. I like Laki Tassi, right? But you got to have people that are willing to develop him. And also, you know, he's got to jump on. He has to, for him to make, you know, a jump for where he is on the Raiders roster to being a guy that's a real everyday starter or something like that. That's a monumental jump for a guy that's very, very inexperienced at football, right? And I'm not willing to put my number 1 pick quarterback behind a guy that's really never played that position, if I'm being honest, man. Oh, and Demon King, he's not a 5th round pick. This kid Ione, he is the basement 2nd round pick. He is going to be a 1st round pick, bro. He's the best guard to me. Him and the kid Paragon are the 2 best guards in college football. That's my personal opinion. You know what I mean? Like him and listen, man. When you start talking about guards, man, these young guys, man, are going to start day one. Now, when you start talking about America, Paragon, he's a little smaller. You know, he's taller, but he's a little smaller. He's 318. But yo, he has a blend of finesse and power, bro, that really I think would probably fit a little better with the Raiders. You know what I mean? This is a guy, man, that, you know, is a precise blocker, man. Really great technique. He's a great anchor against power rushers. He's damn near immovable, man. And yo, pass blocking, man, he went across 2024 without allowing a sack. You know, he's a nasty finisher. He has nice length too. And then he's a guy that, because he's 6'5" and he has long arms, he's a guy that could be kind of like a backup swing tackle, but I think he's a guard. And his athletic ability for a guy his size kind of jumps off the tape when you watch him, man. He has great quickness to pull on the outside, and he's a perfect fit for a zone concept. Seriously, like he's a perfect fit for a guy in his zone conflict, man. Like, thing with him, man, is that, you know, in the run game, sometimes he doesn't have the best balance in the run game, right? And then his positional, you know, versatility is you know, it's not limited, but he is a guy that, to me, is a guard by trade. You know, like his size, maybe you could try to play around with his skill set, but he is a guy that is entrenched being a pure guard. I don't really see him being a guy unless the Raiders wanted to do that and you had line. And I got to see the approach from some of these guys, because we've had, when Josh McDaniels was here, they wanted everybody to be versatile and interchangeable. This is a guy that is a guard by trade, and you shouldn't really mess around with him like that. You wouldn't want to mess around with him. But Paragon is a guy that I think the Raiders most likely should focus on trying to bring in, man. Oh my God, Hug D's, you got to watch your mouth, man. You got to watch your mouth, Hug D's. You about to go to the gulags with your wrench. The F is wrong with you. I mean, but listen, man, there are a lot of young guys in this draft, man, that, you know, I'm going to get into some of the defensive tackles. Now, we know Jennings Dunker is one of our guys, man. You know, Blake Miller too. Blake Miller, man, is a kid that, you know, a lot of people aren't talking about, you know, out of Clemson. He is a guy that I am very, very high on as well. You know, you got the centers of the world too, like Jake Slaughter from Florida too. That is a wasted guy. You know, Jake Slaughter, man, is a guy that, you know, I could see the Raiders, if they really, really wanted to go out there and you know, really remake this line. I mean, this is the thing with me, bro. If the Raiders are in a situation where they don't see, you know, Tyler Linderbaum coming to the building, I really, and I know you guys aren't going to agree with me, but I think that they should go out there and bring in another center. And really have, you know, JPJ fight for that job. Seriously. Just to make sure, you know, all the assessments of him is right. Now, you know, when I start talking about Slaughter, man, he is a guy that, you know, some people have as the number one center coming out. Some people have either him, Lou, or Parker Brailsford, and Logan Jones, another guy too. You know, it's kind of like a log jam there. Then you got guys like Pat Coogan. You know, I don't necessarily think that Pat Coogan is a guy that will come in here and start in the National Football League. But, you know, Jake Slaughter is one of them guys, man. When you look at him, bro, he is like a Creed Humphrey kind of a prospect, man, as far as, you know, his size. You know, this is a big boy, man. This is a big boy to be a center, man. He's 6'4", big hands, man. Pretty decent 40 time, 5 flat 40, 303, 32-inch arms. You know, to me, this is a center to me, man. This is a starting center. I mean, his pass pro is his calling card too. And that's one of the things that I want the Raiders to address going forward, man, because you start talking about drafting the number one quarterback, you don't want to knock the football out of the kid as soon as he comes into the damn league, man. Seriously. And I need for Raider Nation to really, really start wrapping their mind around drafting a center or possibly having Jackson Powers Johnson as a center, because we're not going to get all the guys you think. You know what I mean? Like Tyler Linderbaum has options. If he likes being coached by John Harbaugh, he can go to New York, right? He can go to the Chargers. He has options. Like there are certain players that we want, right? And I want to get into some of these free agents, but there are certain players that we want that we're just not going to get, because we're not going to get every single player that we think is an instant upgrade. If you get one of those guys in the offseason, you are playing with house money. But most of the time during the free agent cycle, all these players, now I've done this for a few years, all these players that we're naming that could possibly come to the Raiders, either they get franchised, they go somewhere else, they stay with the team that they were with, or the Raiders aren't even interested in. And it's the thing. We don't know whether Tyler Linderbaum is somebody that they're interested in. They probably should be. I would think, logically, you would think they would be. This is a smart coaching staff. They know what they're doing. You're not going to have all of the nonsense that you had, where people have their version of what they're trying to bring to the Raiders that doesn't really line up with reality. Telling you right now, your thoughts on bringing in a kicker just to put some pressure on Carlson. Yes, I'm 100%. I've been saying that all season. I've been saying that for the last few years. Daniel Carlson shouldn't be giving anything, bro. Seriously. Salute to South Dakota Raiders. Salute to everybody in the chat, man. Over 600 in the room, man. Get wasted with your brother wasted, man. On a very dreary Monday, man. Manic Monday. And look, UA Mel saying, yo, Linderbaum has trouble anchoring down. I mean, listen, bro. He's a center. When people say that, they talk about, him going against some of the best defensive tackles in the league. And you win some, you lose some. You don't win them all, right? So when you start talking about like guys like Dexter Lawrence, you start talking about Chris Jones, you start talking about guys like that, those guys are damn near unblockable. So you can understand that. And it's the thing, and Leaky's right, man. It's no hate to Linderbaum. I don't see him coming here, bro. I don't. To me, the thing that would make more sense is the Giants have a need there, him going with his old coach. That makes sense to me. And they say, well, he loses one-on-ones, he's overrated. Well, bro, everybody loses one-on-ones, man. To me, that's a very surface level assessment, my brother. That's a very, very surface level assessment. Very surface level. Kenny says the reality is the Raiders need to overpay free agents $3 or $4 million more per year than winning teams. Listen, and that's like, bro, you got to ask yourself, because there are some players that are out there for the not the duration, but the duration. You got some players that, listen, who's the highest bidder? That's where I'm signing. You have other ones that prioritize winning. You have other ones that prioritize opportunities outside of football. You have other players who prioritize, quality of life and where they're living because they got a family and, certain climates, or some people prioritize being close to their support base, right? We don't necessarily know what Tyler Linderbaum's calling cards are and why he would make a move from the Ravens. But what I do know is that there is a financial aspect of this that do make the Raiders very viable and palatable, because they have the coffers to be able to pay him exactly what he wants and beyond that. But at the end of the day, man, I'm going to be real with you. And I did a short on this the other day, but I think that the Raiders really, really need to, one, go out there and draft the center, and two, put him on a roster and make him compete against Jackson Powers Johnson. And if he don't, then keep him on a roster. He could be Jackson Powers Johnson's backup. But I think JPJ has this rare ability, and I'm just talking about from a physical standpoint. From a mental aspect, I don't necessarily know if JPJ is not, a guy who can retain stuff. I'm gonna be real with you. With what happened last year, I have to take every assessment I heard from Pete Carroll and his sons and that coaching staff with a grain of salt. So if you're telling me that Jackson Powers Johnson couldn't call out protections and things like that, the only person I'm willing to listen to is Richie Incognito and like Lincoln Kennedy, right? Lincoln Kennedy spoke about, some of the stuff going on with JPJ, and then I got to take some of that at face value. But all this shit that came out of the Pete Carroll regime, to me, I take that and I flush that assessment right down the trash. Because what we've all heard that Brendan Carroll was doing with that team was criminal, man. Salute to my guy David Walker. The Raiders are definitely a destination team. We'll want to come and play for it. You know what, Dave? We can't make that statement unilaterally. Because there are some people that prioritize winning, and that's something that we have not done in a very, very, very long time. And if the number one thing on your call sheet is that I want to win and I want a chance to win a Super Bowl, and that's a dream of mine, this ain't necessarily the place you want to come. We're fans of the Raiders. We can see all of the great things that are happening. We can sit back and be like, yo, the Raiders are going to turn this shit around. But to say that we're a destination team on paper, from a financial standpoint, from a cost of living standpoint, from a tax-free state standpoint, the Raiders, from a facility standpoint, from an ownership standpoint, as far as how well you will be treated, yes. But from a standpoint of winning, this is not a destination. And this is really a place where people, if we're being honest, have not done well. Seriously. But the Carrolls last year, man, when you start talking about Jack, and that's the reason why, I am very, very big on the idea of trying to put Jackson Powers Johnson at what he feels is his natural position. And also bringing someone in and challenge that. Salute to my guy, Dave. He said, that's what I meant. Hey, Dave, you know what the thing is, bro? We got to make sure that we're filtering the message, right? We got to make sure we're filtering the message. Salute to my guy, Raider Jeff, man. We are not a destination team for players, correct. But what makes JPJ a lock at center? Nothing. There's nothing. Nothing makes JP. Yo, bro, look, I'm going to go back to the great Sting, the great professional wrestler, the Stinger. If you guys watch NWA wrestling back in the day, or you guys watch WCW, you know who I'm talking about, the franchise, the Stinger. What he always used to say is what, guys in the chat? The only thing that's for sure is nothing's for sure. That is exactly what's going on with the Raiders right now. We don't know anything. There's nothing written in stone. We don't know whether our best player is going to be here. We don't know whether or not. The only thing that we know is that the Raiders have looked to build a great infrastructure around the number one pick, which is Fernando Mendoza, which is who we are going to talk about next. Now, look, there are a lot of people who are upset that Fernando Mendoza is not throwing at the NFL Combine. There are a lot of people who are trying to make this a thing, bro. Listen to me, man. Explain something to me. Why will Fernando Mendoza throw? For what? When he could just wait for his pro day and you'll get, whatever you want to see out of Mendoza, whether you want to see, the zip on the football, ball placement, how he moves, all the stuff that you don't see, which you most of it is all film, right? This is a guy that does not have any real competition to be the number one pick. It just makes zero sense for him. Like, what's higher than number one, right? There's nothing that can be gained by him going to the combine and throwing. He's a consensus number one pick. I mean, his grip on the top spot is tighter than, almost anybody I've seen in recent memory. When Peyton Manning came out, he had Ryan Leaf. There was a question. You know, people talk about Caleb Williams. Caleb Williams is a guy who watched someone else from his draft class get to a Super Bowl before him. So, you know, you had a ton of guys in that draft that could be, you know, the guy, right? So for me, right, like it makes sense for, you know, a guy like Caleb, who I don't think he threw at the combine. If he wanted to, it would make sense for me. For a guy like Diego Paiavilla, it makes sense. He needs to throw because there are gains that could be made. There are gains that could be made. But there's nothing that could be gained from Fernando Mendoza by going out there and throwing, bro. I mean, my God. So Raider Jeff, him not partaking in the combine makes it look like he doesn't want to show his negatives or a chance of messing it up. So let me ask you a question. So all the winning that he did, right, in college football, all of that winning, all of what he put on tape over his years in college, that has made him the consensus number one pick just goes out the window because he goes to the combine and misses a throw or something to receivers he's never thrown to. It does not make any goddamn sense. If you know it, just take your fandom out of it. Who's he competing with? It is widely regarded that he's the number one pick. The only thing he could do is really hurt that. Why would you do that? Why would you do that? It doesn't make it makes zero sense. For what? And what negatives are going to show up in the underwear Olympics that are not going to show up in his pro day? They're going to run the same fucking drills. It's going to be with guys that he's used to throwing to. And he's going to also highlight guys on his Indiana team so that they'll get a better look. So now we're comparing Tyler Shuck to Fernando Mendoza. Like what are we talking about here? Like there's nobody in this quarterback class that's even close. It makes zero sense. Go there for your medicals, shake hands, interview, and leave. And really, he don't even need the interview because he know the Raiders are going to take him. Like, why would you? That's like having a lottery ticket and you won the lottery, or you win at blackjack and you have your winnings in your hand, and somebody comes up to you and say, "Hey, listen, you know, there's take your lottery ticket and give me that lottery ticket and play and see if you win again." It makes no sense. He's got the lottery ticket, bro. He's the number one pick. Everyone knows it. Everyone knows it. I'm not doing anything I don't want to do. Like, seriously, it doesn't make any sense, bro. I think that's a narrative by people who don't think that we should draft this kid. And look, what I'm going to tell you is it don't make any sense for us not to draft a quarterback. We keep talking about how long this team has been bad. We keep talking about how they're not consistently winning. We keep talking about all this crap. And when you start looking at the one thing that the Raiders haven't done, we've gone out, we've gotten free agent quarterbacks. We've gotten Carson Palmer, who was a former number one pick, to come out of retirement, who was a perennial Pro Bowler, right? We've gone out, we've drafted guys in the second round like Derek, right? We've gone out here, we've brought in guys that are supposed to be, you know, whatever. God, free agents, we've done it all here, bro. The one thing we've never done is draft a quarterback at any type of value. It is time to draft and develop a quarterback on a rookie deal that has real talent, and not going out there and making some fucking journeyman fifth round pick the future of the Raiders, or going out there and bringing in a guy that, you know, oh, he might be like a, nah, man, no. Go out there and make the investment in a young guy and build around him. A guy that from a culture perspective is a good kid, who's won at a high level, who has a flawless college career, who is accurate and all that. Yeah, listen, if there are negatives about Fernando Mendoza, there's negatives about anybody, bro. You can go back and pull the scouting tape on Peyton Manning and their negatives, bro. It is time to draft a quarterback and stop playing around. We don't need no Jimmy Garoppolo's. We don't need no goddamn Gardner Minshew's. Listen, bro, even with Derek, the problem with the Raiders is when he got decent, we didn't continue to draft quarterbacks. It's time, Jeff. We're too old for this, bro. It's time. It's time. There is no guy under the sun that you can bring in and you know there's not going to be some issues with him. There was issues with Caleb Williams. There's issues with Kyler Murray, who isn't a good quarterback, right? He's not a bad quarterback, but there's issues with all these dudes, bro. That's paralysis by analysis. You can't be scared to do what's needed. And bro, look, there are a lot of other receivers out there. Surratt's okay. You know, I like Cooper better than Surratt, but bro, listen, you got to look all around college football, bro. There are a lot of other wide receiver prospects, bro, that you can get that are better than that kid Surratt, bro. Seriously. I know a lot of people like him and stuff like that, but look, man, I am listen, bro. You got guys like Carnell Tate and Mekhi Lemon and all of these guys. You know, Denzel Boston, 6'4", big boy, man. Big boy, man. Big positional receiver, man. Big body reception guy, man. I mean, when you start talking about, you know, guys like, you know, Chris Bell from Louisville, 4'4" guy, 6'2", true X receiver, bro. Now, Surratt, another 6'2" guy, 4'6" guy, bro. Surratt is slow as molasses, bro. Slow as molasses, bro. He's a body positioning guy, but he's 6'2", right? Listen, Jacoby Lane out of USC, man, 6'4". 6'4". Malachi Fields from Notre Dame. Another big boy, 6'4". Big boy, man. There's other players out there, man, and then just the guys you saw in the national title game, guys. But Omar Cooper would be a guy that I would bring in the later rounds, man. He's a 4'4" guy, 6 foot, great blocker. You know, yak-oriented guy, too. That's the kind of guy you need, man. One of them guys that you can throw a little dump pass to and he can take it to the house. Zachary Branch, 5'10" kid, you know, 4.35 guy, super lightning fast guy. He's one of the guys that might run the fastest at the combine this year. You know, a definite Al Davis pick. You know, you got guys like Malik Benson, too. Malik Benson, man, he can stretch that field. That speed is real, bro. That kid from Oregon, that speed is real, bro. Like, for me, man, I want the Raiders to go out there and go bring us some guys, man, that got that speed, man. Get back to being the Raiders. Seriously. But see, Jeff, this is Willy Wonka's golden ticket, bro. This is Willy Wonka's golden ticket. You could, getting multiple picks. You can also trade Maxx Crosby and get multiple picks. Picks aren't, unless you draft properly, it's not fucking worth it. Right? And then knowing that you already got the number one pick and then you got a disgruntled player that you're going to get multiple picks for. So now you got both. You got the young quarterback and you got picks to build around them. I don't see, bro, they got 10 draft picks and a shitload of money, Jeff. It don't make no sense, bro, to not draft this kid. There's no way as a fan that you could tell me that they're Like, I don't understand. And I'm not saying that Fernando Mendoza is going to be like the best player. I don't know that. As long as he's a guy that is a starter, a good start, like if he's like Matt Ryan, sign me up for that. Sign me up. Like real rap, sign me up. My man said, no, read the comment before that. The one you posted about the second part. Oh, all right. Oh, my bad, Jeff. My bad, Jeff. My bad, bro. Yeah, but sign me up, bro. Like, I want me a receiver, bro. Like, bro, trading back. He says, yo, I'm not scared to draft him at all. I'm not doubting his ability. I'm just looking at the big picture. We are a bad team with a ton of holes. We need to bring players in. One player. But, Jeff, I get it. But, bro, it's like you got a situation where you got so much flexibility, right? Like when you look at it from that prism, and it's just my opinion, right? Teams that have bad contracts, established starters, contracts they can't get out of, when they're kind of landlocked with their roster, you have to kind of go for the currency of hope, which is draft picks. But when you got a situation where you got the number one pick, you got a blue chip player that you're going to trade for more picks, right? You got a shitload of cap space. You can fill those holes that way, bro. Why do the Raiders not be able to fill the holes with the cap space and extra draft capital? And also, like, why the two things they're not mutually exclusive, bro? Like, drafting Fernando Mendoza doesn't mean that you can't fill holes through the draft. And they're picking early in every round. Like real rap. I mean, and this is another wasted euphemism. Wasted. This is another wasted saying here. He goes, the Raiders got more holes to fill than Lisa Ann. That's a bunch of filth. Get the F up out of here with your crap. I mean, the GOAT Lisa Ann. Said we only have 51 players in the contract. 15 a practice squad. The full roster is pitiful. 500 million can't fix it. Kenny, are you? Kenny, you effing serious, bro? Are you with that crap? I mean, get out of here, bro. $100 million in cap. We want Linderbaum, about 20 million. Mo saying Kubiak wants to cut Geno, so that's 18 million in dead cap. Cousins is a gap, probably 30. No. See, that's retarded. Like, why would you? That's not smart, bro. Like, why would if you feel like you got holes to fill, right? Why would you commit that kind of money to a backup quarterback? Right? And then we don't know if Tyler Linderbaum even wants to come here. So that's one hole you cross off, right? But then now, you go out there, you go get Elijah Vera Tucker, who's not going to cost you that much. You go out there and you go get some guys like Kenneth Gainwell and people like that. I mean, bro, you go out like let's really dig into this, bro. Let's dig into this. The positional value. This is a whole show right here. So we're gonna just dig into this very, very surface level. You know what I'm saying? But guys, look. So, all right, so the fact that we are going out there and we're getting the number, we got our young quarterback, right? But then, say for instance, you go out there, you go get a Jalen Phillips or Tyler Linderbaum or Devin Lloyd, right? You might get only one of those guys, right? But you're still not going to be close to, capping out. Odafe Owe, explosive pass rusher, explosive, man. Right? But then when you start really looking at it, you're going to have to fill in this roster with guys like, Rashid Shaheed, not big money. Guys like Breece Hall can be a good backup running back. Elijah Vera Tucker, sheesh, man. Jamal Dean, not gonna get a big amount of money from a guy like a Jamal Dean, right? Guys like Travis Etienne as a backup running back, but you probably want to draft one. Guys like Zion Johnson, if you're going to go out there and you can fill this roster in with guys that are not necessarily blue chip guys, man. Kwity Paye, man, from Michigan. This is a guy that John Spytek might have his eye on. Michigan guy, 27 years old, 265, 33-inch arms. Kwity Paye is a guy that's an edge setter. But he's a damn good, edge setter. Guys like Tariq Woolen. Tariq Woolen is a guy that, look, if we're being honest, we love Tariq Woolen because of the measurables, but bro, he might not get that. That's a guy you can bring in. Guys like Leo Chanel, Nakobe Dean, Braden Smith. I mean, this is a guy that's close to retirement, man. He was close to retirement, man. And, he hasn't been the most consistent guy in the world. So that's a question mark. But this is a guy you can replace. Like, there's a lot of good free agents out there that are not going to cost you a shitload of money. Guys like Jaquan Brisker. Only problem is he's got a history of concussions, right? But, Jaquan Brisker, man, is one of those hitters that the Raiders love. I mean, I don't get what everybody's talking about. I mean, hell, you can go out there and go get a guy like a Joey Bosa if you lose Maxx. I don't get it, bro. It's easier to have the rebuild when the QB and the coach are on the same team. QB/head coach runs the ship 95% of the league. No QB, your team goes nowhere that season. Case in point, we had Adams, Myers, Jacobs, and Waller, and nothing happened. And I'm telling you right now, man. And it's the thing. When you talk about that cap hit, those numbers are not accurate, my brother. And bro, it's not being taken. And Jeff, listen, it's not being taken the wrong way, my brother. We are having a healthy debate here, bro. Wasted stays is no, I'm not exposing, bro. That's that man's opinion. Yo, he has a lot of great takes that I agree with. This is just one we don't agree on. Me and Big Mike don't always agree. Me and Graf don't always agree. Me and Hammer, it's funny. Me and Hammer agree more than a lot. We agree about a lot of stuff, but we don't agree. Me and Andy don't agree all the time. Like, these are guys I respect. Me and Sanjeet don't always agree. That's not what this is about, bro. But bro, we gonna be fine, bro. Man, and it's the thing. When you start talking about this defense, yo. Yeah, and it's the thing with Rudy the Vet Russo. We agree until we don't. And Hug D's, this effing bum, he goes, we rarely agree, even when we do mocks. I mean, you
gorilla looking smelly bitch, motherfucker. You got me fucked up.
Hug D's, you shut the F up. Your crap. Hug D's with his crap. This is what we need to talk about. This is my kind of show. We start talking about the linebackers here. Wasted. Is there any good linebackers in free agency we can go after? Because I feel like that's one of our biggest needs is middle linebacker. I was like, bro, listen, Devin Lloyd, definitely. I mean, my God, man, Devin Lloyd is, man, Devin Lloyd, man, is Let me tell you something, bro. Yo, Devin Lloyd is my guy. I hope we get him. I don't know if we're going to. You know what I'm saying? But my God, man, I would love to bring in, you know, Devin Lloyd, man. I would love to bring in Devin Lloyd. You know, but you got guys like Logan Wilson. Logan Wilson was just released. He's an unrestricted free agent. You know, he's a guy that his play has dipped a little bit. He's a guy that you might want to bring in just to fill the roster out. You got guys like Kenneth Murray. Matt Milano is a very, I like Matt Milano, always have, man. Man, of course, Devin Lloyd, Quay Walker can be available for you, man. Man, you know, Bobby Wagner ain't going nowhere. Demario Davis is an older guy. I don't necessarily. Demario Davis is a beast, man. He is a guy that, you know, if I'm being honest, man, you know, a couple years ago, that would be a guy you would bring in. But yeah, there's some linebackers out there, but you probably want to go out there and get one of them guys, get like a Devin Lloyd and build around that unit with some younger guys. You know, let Elandon walk, you know, Roberts and guys walk, you know, keep Tommy Eichenberg, you know what I mean, and build around that with some younger players, man. UA Mel with the negativity as usual. The one reason I didn't want Rob Leonard, does he run man-to-man or zone? Does he like the blitz or not? Does he like a true free safety or the inner safety? These are all questions. But, bro, this is the thing, man. These are questions to everybody around the league, bro, when they get their first job. He's getting his first shot with us. Now, we've gone the route of having an established defensive coordinator, and you guys didn't like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, so when you start talking about, yo, you know, when Paul Gunther was brought in here, oh, Paul Gunther has done a great job around this league. Patrick Graham, the Black Picasso. What happened to that? Like, I would rather go and bring in the next young, bright guy that has shown that he's had success at every kind of position that he's held. And I think there's going to be an amalgamation of some of the guys he's coached under. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, this is a Rob Marinelli disciple. This is a guy that's a Brian Flores disciple, who's a hell of a defensive coordinator. This is a guy that is a Mike McDonald disciple. So I look, we don't know, and we're going to find out, but I'm sure the way he's done with the defensive line, how good of a linebacker coach he was, this is the right guy for this staff. And you got a lot of older, grizzled coach veterans that are going to come in and really help out. My guy, Black Cell Sports Talk with a $5 slap a room, man. Fans got to understand what you pay per year is not their cap hit. We pay Linderbaum $20 million per. This year's hit could be $10 million. And listen, look, sometimes everybody doesn't understand the complete and total nuance between how a contract is broken down. So we're not gonna, you know, that was what it was, man. That was what it was. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, when you start talking about like contracts, right? You know, like if, say for instance, a player's market value is like $7 million, right? When you start talking about that, right? All right, so you got to look at, yo, the average salary, the cap hit could be like $3-4 million. You know, like contracts are weird, man. Contracts are weird, bro. You know, I'll give you an example, right? Right. So when we start talking about somebody that has a $20 million a year contract, right? Let me look at Penei Sewell, right? Penei Sewell has a 4-year, $112 million contract, right? Penei Sewell has a $28 million a year average salary, right? He has a $42 million signing bonus. He has guaranteed $85 million number, right? So we got to look at what that looks like. What that looks like, right? And this a guy's getting paid a hell of a lot more than Linderbaum because he's a right tackle. So the cap hit will be $28 million. You know what I mean? And when you start talking about it, right? This is a guy that's making substantial. His base salary will be $19-20 million. You know, the first year, the base salary could be like 1.5 million, 2 million. You know, it's crazy because they prorate everything off the signing bonus. So when the contract first gets signed, and this is Penei Sewell's contract, right? He got, you know, 6 million, 1.5 million. That first year, his cap hit was $8.6 million, right? Then the second year of the contract, his cap hit was $9.5 million, right? Now the third year, that's where the money's coming in. It's $28 million cap hit. Then if they keep him the fourth year of the contract, it'll be a $32 million cap hit. So that's the way contracts are structured, bro. So it's like the first year we could be saying, oh, well, they got this amount of cap space now. It's like, bro, that first year could be a $10 million hit. Salute to my guy, Silver Stunner, man. No matter what anyone says, we'll have 15 to 22 starters on the roster. So we're looking for 7 starters, then depth. I don't think we have that many starters on the roster, bro. Like, we could count that out now, right? So let's take Mendoza out of it, whoever starts at quarterback, right? You got Colton Miller, you got Jackson Powers Johnson, starter, right? You start looking at the rest of the line, nobody is a lock. Right, you start looking at the secondary. There's really nobody that's a real lock in the secondary, bro. There's who's a real lock starting, right? Maxx Crosby could possibly be getting traded, right? Like, you don't really, like, bro, some of these guys are on the roster, but you don't know if they're going to start. There's so many guys on this roster. Genty's a starter. Brock Bowers is a starter. That's 4 or 5 guys, right? Mayer's not a starter. He's a guy that's going to make the roster, but he's not a starter. So, you know, Dante Thornton is not a, you don't know if he's a starter. Besh is probably a starter. So I'm going to put Besh in that mix, right? Trey Tucker might not be a starter next year. Like, I'm like, bro, this roster is pretty barren because you have a new staff that can view these players a lot differently than everyone else did previously, man. My guy S. Dot, man. Hug These is right. Wasted is going to pick a kicker with the 3rd pick. It's some linebacker named Eggplant Jones. Some dude nobody has heard of. Great tape and great film. S. Dot, you better get the F up out of here with your crap. I mean, you guys come here with your attack. Stop attacking. You know what? Guys talking y'all bull crap. I might just bust a mock draft out just to show you punks what time it is. There with your crap. Eggplant Jones. Wasted. How much stock do you put in the combine? I mean, for players that you haven't seen a whole lot, for players that, you know, don't really have the national spotlight on, I think the combine could be a great indicator of what could be from an athletic profile, right? Guys that are sleepers, guys that have transferred to other schools. The combine is a great place to find diamonds in the rough. Guys that you can bring in and develop them based off of their athletic profile, right? I think when you start talking the first 2 rounds, I don't think the combine really weighs as much as game film. I think when you start talking the back end, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th round, the combine means a hell of a lot. There are a lot of guys that have some elite traits that people didn't know about. There are some guys that have some elite measurements that are being confirmed at said draft. And you have certain teams that, that really know what they're doing. Like the Baltimore Ravens and the Raiders always had a way where it was like, listen, this is to me what a Raider looks like. He's this fast. He's this strong. He does this, that. So that's why I think the combine is very important. Yo, Nakobe Dean, Lloyd, Drake Thomas. Look, man, I love it. But the thing is this, bro. You still got to get it right somewhere in the draft with some of these positional groups. Seriously, man. You got to get this shit right. You got to get it right. Undrafted free agents. Listen, I'm going to be real with you guys, man. I think this has been a long show, right? It's been a long show. It's been a long show. It's been a great show. But what we are going to do is, look, just because, you know, Ayo Anthony ran his mouth, being a bum that he is. We're going to log in and we're going to do a 7th round mock draft like your effing life depended on it. We enter in this draft, and listen, you can like it, you can love it, you can hate it, but learn to live with it, because a wasted talent mock draft is the best thing going today. You can snap a picture of this damn draft, you effing bums. Fernando Mendoza off the board, done. Okay. So we are very, very, very thin at a lot of positions, right? We're thin at a lot of positions, man. But the one thing that we definitely need to do is we need to make sure that our defense is really, really, taken care of. Right. And the one guy in this draft that to me can be like a Micah Parsons kind of a player is Anthony Hill Jr., man. Anthony Hill Jr. is a guy that, for me, makes a whole hell of a lot of sense in the 2nd round. Whole hell of a lot of sense, right? So, look, if we're going to start talking about, best player available, right? Who needs to be drafted? We need a backup running back for our guy, Ashton Genty. But we also need to make sure that we go out there and we go, really outfit this defense, right? So when you start talking about Dominique Orange, Dominique Orange, bro, is a big boy, man. It's a big boy. We need some help up front. Dominique Orange is a big boy, the big Iowa State guy. He's 6'4". He's 325. This is a guy that, this year had, 18 tackles, a bunch of passes defense this year. He's a big space-eating defensive tackle. But listen, I didn't pass on a good defensive tackle at all. I have not done that. I got me my pass rusher in this draft. I mean, I don't understand what the F you guys are talking about. If we're getting rid of Maxx, what do you want me to do here? So look, what I want to do is I want to look at, Darrell Jackson Jr., also a beast, right? Caleb Proctor is in a place to be. Connor Lew, Sam Hecht. You know what? I want to protect my young quarterback. So in the 3rd round, you know what I'm going to do? So we're in the 3rd round. I'm going to go get me my center. Get me my center, y'all. Get me my center. Malachi Kamara, come home. Nice edge, man. Yo, we need us a safety out here, man. I'm going to go get my guy Bud Clark out of TCU. Look, and do we need a backup running back? You damn skippy we do. You a damn skippy we do. You damn skippy. I haven't gotten a corner or nothing yet either, though. That's the crazy thing, man. I got me a safety. I want to take Michael Tapper. He's nice. DJ Campbell. We haven't really addressed the offensive line. So let's see what we got here. We got our quarterback. We got a pass rusher. We got a center. We got an edge. And we got a safety. Aiden Fisher's a beast, too. Love that kid. Julian Neal, that is Jalon Kilgore. Love that kid, man. But you know what? I think I can wait. I think I can wait, man. Albert Regis, big fella. I'm just, man. This is tough, man. This is tough. This is tough, man. Oh, Jacoby Laney. Let's go get us a wide receiver to help out our quarterback. Let's go get a wide receiver. Man. So right now, let me go into the chat and see. I'm not even looking at what you guys are saying. So right now, how we looking so far? How we looking so far? I mean, how we looking so far, guys? Listen, we got our starting quarterback. We got a young pass rusher of the future. We got our starting center. We got an edge rusher. We got a nice safety that's going to be starting, right? And we got us a nice wide receiver in this draft. Nice wide receiver. The one thing we haven't really addressed is the cornerback room, right? So I think if I come out of this draft and if I don't go and get me a guy like, you know, to Cario Davis out of Washington, I think I've done myself a disservice, man. I really do. I really do. Okay, so listen. We went out there. Logan Jones is still available too. Well, I'm surprised he's still available, man. So listen, offensive tackles, what do we got left? Got the big fella. Diego Pounds. Nah, I'm good, man. Let me see what we got here. So wait. All right, so they want to trade. I'm kind of good, man. I think I'm gonna keep all of my. I'm gonna keep all my. So we got Jaden Roberts, Cole Wisniewski, Bishop Fitzgerald. Look, I'm gonna be real with you. I think I need to go out here and go get me a running back, or I need to go out there and go get me some more corner help. Parker Brailsford, man, I could have waited on that center, man. I kind of screwed up on this draft. I'm gonna go get Roman Hembry. I'm gonna go get my guy that. Jeez, man. So we got. Listen, man. We went out there. Xavier Harris. We're gonna get us another big fella up the middle too, man. Then we're gonna go get us a linebacker, Eric Gentry. Man, to me. Terrific draft to me. Terrific draft. Terrific draft. I mean, what do y'all think, man? Look, I beefed up the defensive tackle room. What are you guys talking about? I beefed up what are you guys talking about? I got 2 defensive tackles. What the F are y'all talking about? Xavier Harris, Malachi Kamara. What the F are you talking about here? I got pass rushers. I got edge rushers. I got wide receivers. I mean, what the F are y'all talking about? You know what? Let's do this again. Let's do this again. Let's do this again, you bunch of effing bums. It's a great draft. I mean, I don't know what the F you guys are talking about here. Let's do it again. Raiders are on the clock. Let's start it. Fernando Mendoza, like your life depended on it. Man. Mason Thomas is available. You got to take our Mason Thomas, bro. Beast at edge rusher. Dante Corleone from Cincinnati, one of the best run stuffers in this draft, man. My God. Markel Bell. This is a guy that I'm really high on, man. Big tackle. We went out there and got our big tackle, man. So look, we gotta do something with this safety room, man. Bud Clark is my favorite center damn near in this whole draft. My favorite safety in this draft, man. We definitely got to do. Hold on. So we still got these guys available. I'm going to get a center in this draft too. Katron Allen is a beast, man. What round are we in? We're in the 5th round. I'm going to go and get me my backup running back. I like Katron Allen a lot better than you know, the kid from Indiana. But then we haven't addressed the cornerback room. Jalen Kilgore. I like Kilgore better. I'm taking my guy Kilgore, man. Nolan Ricci, Jaden Roberts. Man. Gonna go get my guy Logan Jones, to me the 2nd best center in the draft. Daquan Wright, Xavier Thomas out of LSU. We're going to go out there and go get us a wide receiver for Fernando Mendoza. Let me see how we looking right now. So Fernando Mendoza, R. Mason Thomas, Dante Corleone, Markel Bell, Bud Clark, Jalen Kilgore, Logan Jones, Xavier Thomas. Oh, my God, man. We got to go out here and get us a running back, man. We're gonna get us a running back. Now, Roman Hembry's okay. Kalen Black is a good running back. You know, I don't look, man, I don't want to do this whole just because they play with Fernando Mendoza stuff. To me, you know, when you start talking about backs, I think Desmond Reed is a better player, man. You know, I'm gonna go and give me Desmond Reed. So I got my backup running back. Right. So let me see what we haven't got. Art Mason Thomas. So we got our edge. Eric Gentry. Can't pass on him. Do some work. Do some work. Eric Gentry is a beast, man. Eric Gentry is a beast. My man Cream Corn put me up on him, man. Eric Gentry is a beast, yo. What do y'all think? I mean, what do y'all think, man? What do y'all think, man? Rudy, you know what? You can go to the gulags, you effing bum. You can go to the effing gulags. Yeah, but you know what, bro? I don't want to hear about the thick frames, bro. Markel Bell is a guy that you can't pass up on, bro. If he's there in the goddamn 4th round, you take him, bro. You take him. You take him. What the F are y'all talking about? We got our center. We got our tackle of the future. Bud Clark, one of the best safeties in football. Man, get the F up out of here. F minus again. What the F are you guys talking about? That's a damn mock draft. You know what, man? I'll do one. 3rd time's the charm, and we're going to get up out of here. Whether you guys like it or F or not. Whether you like it or not. Whether you like it or not, learn to live with it because it's the best thing going today. Damn it. Damn it. Wow. Okay, so we're not doing the same thing over and over again, right? Emmanuel Warren Neal is a beast. It's a beast, man. He really is, man. He is a beast. He's like the Quinyon Mitchell of this draft, man. Him and Bud Clark are the 2 best safeties in this draft. But just from a positional, I can't pass on R. Mason Thomas, bro. I can't do it. I'm trying to replace Maxx, right? Trying to replace Maxx, right? I can't do that. I can't, right? So listen, we went out here. Now, what do we got here? R. Mason Thomas, Devin Moore, got Malachi Fields, man. We got some hitters still left, man. We got some hitters still left, man. We really do. Let me see. what we got here. Got Sam Hecht, Farmer, DJ Campbell. Ah, man. I think I'm going to stay away from offensive line right now. I think right now, bro, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go cornerback because we got to definitely improve that room, man. I'm going to take Dalen Everett out of Georgia. Right? So, look, we got an edge, we got a corner. I think that, you have to just upgrade the tackles, and you got to upgrade this freaking linebacker group. You have to, right? So we went out there, we got our corner, Bud Clark staring us in the face, right? Skylar Gilhoward. Damn it. I think I missed out on some of the guys that I wanted for the interior defensive line. Markel Bell again, 6'7", man. You can't pass on that. Can't pass on that. Cannot pass on that. So what are we doing here? Oh, Isaiah World is still available too. Damn it. Damn it. Isaiah World is available, man. So let me ask you guys a question. Where should I be going in this draft? Where should I be going in this draft? I like Markel S. Dot because he's so tall, man. I like Dalen Everett, bro. Let me ask you, where y'all going? Linebacker? I think I need to go linebacker, bro, because I'm not seeing the value at tackle. I'm not seeing the value here, man. I think if I don't go linebacker, I'm gonna miss out. Harold Perkins is a beast, man. Aiden Fisher, the heart and soul of that defense, right? And then, okay, so look, Jalen Farmer. I think I'm gonna go with Tim Keenan the third, man. I got to get my big body guy up front. I think I can go back and really make up for that pick. You know what I mean? With some of the linebackers that are left. So we're gonna go linebacker now. I gotta find me a linebacker in this draft. I have to. So look, Aiden Fisher was still there. Boom. Aiden Fisher's still there. So right now, look, I'm looking and I gotta ask myself, do I want to go corner? Do I want to go out there and go get me a center? And this is the thing, right? If I didn't get Tyler Linderbaum, what am I gonna do? Am I going to go Logan Jones? I think I can wait on Logan Jones. I'm going to be real with you. I think I can wait on Logan Jones, and I'm going to go out there. I'm going to get me another corner, man, because this corner room is empty. This corner room is empty. I'm going to get me two corners. Get me two corners, and guess what? I'm going to go out there, and I'm going to bring me in my center in the 6th round. Perfect value right there. And then at this point, I want to go get me a guy that is a developmental stud. And the developmental stud, and I've taken him in every draft, and you guys should too. Go take a look at Eric Gentry out of USC. Eric Gentry is the perfect guy to bring in there, man. Now, for me, listen, we can go, and go and do something good by our quarterback and bring in a familiar face in Roman Hembry. And he could be the backup. To me, this is a damn good draft, y'all. So we got our quarterback of the future. We got an edge of the future. We got a freak at cornerback. We got a freak at tackle that we can develop. We have a starter at defensive tackle. We have a starting linebacker. We have a starting corner, possible starting center, a developmental guy that just has range. Big linebacker that reminds me of Willie McGinnis a lot that you can really develop. And you have Roman Hembry, a guy that Fernando Mendoza has, some familiarity with. I think that was a good draft, man. I think this was a good draft, man. I'm sorry. Salute to everybody in the chat. Keep up the good work. We right on track. Appreciate you, my dog. You're about to reach on linebacker. No, I'm not. No, I'm not. I mean, you didn't like me going out there and going getting Aiden Fisher. Heart and soul kind of guy. Eggerberg, Lindenberg, Devin Lloyd. I mean, my God. Take a look at Eric Gentry, y'all. Take a look. And the Iowa Center could start right away. Perfect. Y'all didn't like the Aiden. I like Aiden Fisher, bro. Look, sometimes you got to take need, bro. It's not always BPA. Sometimes you got to take need, bro. Listen, I got my quarterback in the future. I got an edge. I got a cornerback, 2 freak cornerbacks that's going to come in and compete for a starting job. I have a starting defensive tackle, and I have a guy that's probably a better prospect than anybody we have in the building. Get the F up out of here with you guys' crap. But listen, I'm done with your crap. Guys, this has been a 2-hour live. I never go 2 hours, man. This is because I'm bored and I'm not home. I'm stuck down here. I'm trying to get home. And I love every single one of you guys, man. I hope this show was good. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you didn't, go after yourself. But guys, love you guys. We are going to get up out of here. We're bringing the train back into the train station. You guys have a terrific day. And salute to everybody in the chat, man. Thank you guys for it is normal. And yo, listen, man, we are out of here.